Stefanos will share some tips to help you survive it. And worrying about work, more Americans apparently losing sleep about their jobs. Plus, a special meeting with Michelle Obama. Midmorning starts right now.
WCBI's Midmorning with Aundrea, breaking away from your everyday.
A lot of us are looking forward to the first day of spring on March the 20th, but no one is looking forward to allergy season and all the pollen. Here's Mary Maloney with your guide to surviving allergy season.
It's that time of year when itchy, sniffly, and sneezy take over the body at the same time. Allergy season.
The most common allergen in the spring, first we see tree pollen, and then following the tree pollen we see grass pollen. So that's usually the way the progression is.
According to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, more than 50 million Americans suffer from allergies each year, and it's the 6th leading cause of chronic illness in the United States. To help limit your exposure to these allergens, don't use a feather duster to clean. Use a wet cloth or paper towel instead. Also, wear a face mask and gloves while cleaning and wash your hands thoroughly. Make sure that your houseplants aren't pollinating. Exercise at the right time. Different times of pollen peak at different times of day, so be sure to check the daily pollen count. You can find that at the American Academy of Allergy, Asthma, and Immunology's website. For today's Health Minute, I'm Mary Maloney.
A new study found that e-cigarettes can potentially release significant amounts of toxic metals in its vapors, which users inhale. Scientists examined 56 e-cigarettes. They discovered a number of them released vapors with potentially unsafe levels of lead, chromium, manganese, or nickel. Now, scientists and health advocates are concerned about vaping's growing popularity, especially among teenagers. Anna Werner has that story.
Good morning. E-cigarette use and vaping have been described as safer alternatives to smoking cigarettes. But advocacy groups and some scientists studying the growing trend say those nicotine-containing devices carry known health risks to developing teenage brains. And some kids are already using them.
A lot of people like vaping, and we do too. So
it's something you can find teens posting about all over social media. Vaping, inhaling the vapors from e-cigarette products. High school sophomore Kyler Christopatis is one of them.
When's the first time you tried vaping?
When I was in 6th grade.
Why did you try it?
Because my friend was doing it.
Government statistics found millions of teens have tried it. Nearly 36% of 12th graders had tried some form of vaping in 2017, which included e-cigarettes, devices that can look like cigarettes, pens, or USB data storage drives.
Everyone does it. Like everyone. Every time I go into the bathroom, there's someone doing it.
Now, researchers at University of California's School of Medicine are raising concerns about vaping's impact. Their studies show some teens who likely would not have smoked regular cigarettes are using e-cigarettes. It also found teens who do vape are 6 times more likely as those who have never vaped to later begin smoking. Scientist Jessica Barrington-Trimis.
The normalization of e-cigarette products and vaping products is really problematic.
The vaping industry disputes the study, saying there's no peer-reviewed science that establishes a causal relationship between vapor use and smoking initiation by minors.
Do you worry about what's in it?
Honestly, no.
Why not?
I don't really think about it. It's just advertised as being healthier than smoking cigarettes.
Some research does seem to support the idea that e-cigarettes are less harmful than regular cigarettes. But a new study from the NYU School of Medicine finds that nicotine from e-cigarettes can cause cancer in mice. And the authors wrote, it's possible that e-cigarette smoke may contribute to lung and bladder cancer as well as heart disease in humans. E-cigarette manufacturers say their products are not aimed at children. But Vince Wilmore with the nonprofit group Campaign for Tobacco-Free Kids is skeptical.
There are over 7,000 flavors of e-cigarettes on the market, including flavors like gummy bear, cotton candy. Those are flavors that clearly appeal to kids.
One brand that has become particularly trendy is Juul. The company says its device, which resembles a USB drive, is now the #1 selling e-cigarette in the country. One pod contains as much nicotine as a pack of cigarettes.
It's slick, it's high-tech, It looks like a thumb drive on a computer, which means you can hide it easily. And it gives a very strong hit of nicotine. So this is about an ideal tobacco product to get kids hooked.
And do you think the companies know that?
Well, if they didn't know it when they introduced the product on the market, they should know it by now.
Christopaitis says at his high school, Juul products are everywhere, even though selling them to minors is illegal.
Are they hard to get?
No.
Not at all?
Not at all.
So, like, you get them at school?
You can put on your Snapchat story who's got a Juul, and everyone has one, and you can just buy one so fast.
The company says its products are not for kids. In a statement, Juul said, "We condemn the use of our product by minors. We are fully committed to dramatically reducing the incidence of young people using Juul." The company says to that end, it's investing in significant resources and personnel to combat the problem.
Do it for Juul.
But some kids clearly aren't listening. On social media, the hashtag #DoItForJuul has inspired many to post themselves and others juuling. And Wilmore says as a first step, the FDA should ban the flavored products he says kids are attracted to.
We'd like to see the FDA exercise that authority.
The Vapor Technology Association says it's working aggressively to push federal legislation that would restrict marketing and youth access to vapor products. The FDA does have the authority to regulate e-cigarettes, but last year they delayed regulations that would have forced some e-cigarette makers to seek the agency's approval for their products and could have forced some products off the market.
Equipping teenagers to make positive choices in all aspects of life. That was the focus of a day-long high-energy event in Tupelo this week. Our Allie Martin attended the Healthy Teens for a Better Mississippi rally and has this report.
Speakers and vendors at this rally had one goal.
We are trying to help these students, as the theme of this rally is, to combat risky choices.
More than 2,500 junior high and high schoolers from Northeast Mississippi attended the Healthy Teens rally. Governor Phil Bryant spearheaded an initiative called Healthy Teens for a Better Mississippi, and Families First is expanding that program through rallies to motivate teenagers to set goals and make responsible choices in areas impacting their health and future. Hands-on exhibits included a pull-up bar at the United States Marine Corps booth, and students got a chance to try Fatal Vision goggles at the Mississippi Highway Patrol exhibit.
We're just tossing sandbags, and it's a very simple task, easy, simple task, just tossing sandbags, but then we put our Fatal Vision goggles on, and so that simple task all of a sudden becomes extremely difficult to perform. And then we're trying to get them to take away that when you impair your ability to make good sound decisions, those simple tasks has now become complex tasks.
Students said every teenager can learn something valuable from the rally.
They're wanting us to learn that not only we need to be physically fit and healthy in that way, but also, if we see someone at school who we know is struggling through some things that, we can do whatever we need to save them.
It's important to motivate people in a very positive way and keep people from going into harm's way.
The Tupelo rally was the third and final one in the state. Allie Martin, WCBI News.
More than 40 vendors were also on hand for the Tupelo rally. Coming up, ageless friendships. When we come back, we take a inside a unique care home in London that shares space with a nursery. We'll be right back. A senior home in London is taking an innovative approach to keeping its patients young. Terry Okita shows us how children are helping to bridge the generation gap.
90-year-old Faye Garcia never had kids of her own, but she loves being surrounded now by these little ones at Nightingale House Care Home.
You make friends with them.
Last September, the London retirement home first teamed up with Apples and Honey Nursery to offer daily programs where seniors and children can play and bond. Care home staff say the addition of giggles, gurgles, and youthful energy boosts the mood and mobility of residents and could help them live longer too.
Just seeing the kids and hearing the kids in the home, it just transformed the environment from care home into a proper community.
The tots perk up 93-year-old Anna Platzman's day, and her friends too.
Love it, love it. She was fast asleep just before, wakes up, look, wide awake, seeing the children.
The nursery director says children learn respect and their confidence grows.
You have a gift to give to the world. That's how I see it. And I think it helps the children to see they have that gift.
The blending of ages even inspired Faye to challenge her pals to a race. Their toy cars against her walker.
It was just so much fun, and they loved it. And they said, again. You know, I mean...
And you won.
No, I didn't.
But everyone would agree it's a win-win for the young and old. Terry Okita, CBS News, London.
And since the care home nursery opened last fall, retirement communities around the world in countries like Japan, Israel, Sweden, and Finland have reached out to Nightingale's Apples and Honey program for more information. A lot of people take work home with them, and for many, the job can even keep them awake at night. Lou Young explains.
You ever lose sleep over work?
All the time.
Every night. Every night? Every night. The pressures of the job have many workers staying up with worry. A new survey from Accountemps finds 15% of professionals lose sleep because of work stress very often, while 29% say it happens somewhat often. And men are more likely to be affected than women. Is it bad enough to turn your hair gray?
No, just losing my hair. That's about it.
The major reasons people stay up, they're overwhelmed with the amount of work they have to do, can't get a problem out of their head, or they're worried about strained relationships with coworkers.
Just worrying about the future, especially interpersonal conflicts at work can make you lose sleep.
That's going to impact your health. It's going to impact your productivity. So you need to find some balance there.
Bill Driscoll from Accountemps says if you can't find that balance, it may be time to make some changes.
Are you in the right line of work? Are you overwhelmed? Do you need to talk to your boss about your current level of responsibility?
Phyllis Playton found the problem went away when she quit working.
I'm a newly retired person, so I now have the freedom of sleeping better.
Of course, there are people that don't let work get to them at all. Ever stayed up worried about work? Nah, not really. No? I got an easy job. According to the study, 13% of us never lose sleep thinking about our jobs. Lou Young, CBS News, New York.
I dreamed about my job last night. The survey found younger people are more likely than older people to lose sleep over work. Oprah is shedding some of her shares of Weight Watchers. She's selling almost a quarter of her stake and making quite a bit in the process. Over the course of several days, Oprah has sold shares for a range of $58.29 to $63.94. The transactions were disclosed to the Securities and Exchange Commission in a public filing. Now, Winfrey said in a statement that the move was meant to balance her investment portfolio, not signaling anything else. Weight Watchers stock has been on a tear since Oprah signed on as the face of the company. She plans to give some of her proceeds to her charitable foundation. All right, look at this. Mattel is introducing a new batch of Barbie dolls based on real-life figures just ahead of International Women's Day. They're coming in two separate series of Barbies, inspiring women based on historical figures and new additions to its She-Ro line of dolls named for inspirational contemporary women. The three inspiring women dolls are among them are aviator Amelia Earhart and mathematician Katherine Johnson, with more to follow. Mattel is releasing 14 new She-Ro dolls in the series that started in 2015. They include ones based on Wonder Woman, director Patty Jenkins, and U.S. snowboarder Chloe Kim. Other She-Ro dolls honor fashion designers, journalists, actresses, and entrepreneurs. Those new dolls came after Mattel conducted a survey of 8,000 mothers around the globe and found that 86% are worried about the kind of role models that their daughters are exposed to. All right, coming up, a basketball coach is moving miles away to help children in Uganda. His special mission when Midmorning returns. Welcome back. An area coach is taking his love for helping children from the basketball court to Uganda, where he will be impacting lives in a very different way. Our Scott Barton travels to East Webster High School, where he talked to the coach about his upcoming journey.
Well, for the last time, Coach Michael Seeger heard the final buzzer coaching the East Webster Wolverines. Although his time on the court may be over, his next arena is even bigger. On the court, Coach Seeger may look a little rough and tough when it comes to a game of basketball. Many Wolverines, though, describe it as passion, a passion for the game and a passion for his players.
He's made me better at basketball, of course. He pushes me to be better on the floor. He pushes me to work hard outside of practice and do extra work. But also, aside from that, he pushes me to be a better person.
This past weekend was the last game senior Charlie Brand will play under Coach Seeger. Coach Seeger's calling is moving from the free throw line thousands of miles away to Eastern Africa to build a school and home for vulnerable children.
We will basically be starting this from the ground up. It's not currently running. It's under construction right now. So we will help oversee construction, and when we arrive, we will be hiring teachers, kitchen workers, caretakers for children younger than school age.
Missions have been a calling on the lives of Coach Seeger and his wife since college. A church in Alabama was looking for a couple like the Seegers to permanently live in Uganda.
For 6 months, their church had been praying that a couple would actually approach them with the desire to move to Uganda.
After hours of prayer, the timing seemed perfect. Nothing short of a miracle, Coach Seeger described.
We just want to go and be a part of what he's already doing in Uganda, and we want to just use our time and energy to be a blessing to people who have often been overlooked or not cared for.
Ending his coaching career in North Mississippi, Coach Seeger says is bittersweet. It may not have been the ending he'd hoped for by winning a state championship, but he says it's not about winning. His role as coach was much bigger.
The eternal impact that's been made here far outweighs any win or any statistic that we could accomplish on the court. So,
going back to that word passion, Seeger says it's his passion to make spiritual impacts that carry on from generation to generation.
Having this opportunity to spend time with my teams and with our students for the last year has really, I've seen it as a gift.
A gift his Wolverine team will forever cherish. Coach Seeger's final day at the school will be next Friday. He and his family move off to Uganda on April 17th. Reporting at East Webster High School, Scott Martin, WCBI News.
All right, good for Coach Seeger. We wish him lots of luck there. All right, 3 strangers brought together by chance, now forever bonded by life-changing 10 minutes. Those moments meant life and death for an 8-month-old girl with a heart condition and pulmonary hypertension. Megan Hahn has that story.
It was just so surreal.
8-month-old Hazel Nelson is all smiles, but a week ago, the bubbly little girl had a close brush with the unthinkable.
She was completely blue, not breathing.
When a quick trip to run errands takes a turn.
She was blue as blue could be, bluest baby I've ever seen, lifeless.
Hazel is diagnosed with a rare heart condition and coded that Wednesday inside Walmart.
I mean, I seriously thought she was dead.
That's when 2 strangers connected by happenstance stepped in. One, a pediatric nurse, the other working in an ER, both giving life-saving breaths to little Hazel.
Or agonal breathing, and then nothing for like a few seconds. So we're like, we're going to keep giving breaths. I felt like a barely anything pulse, like a flutter almost. And so I'm like, I'm just going to keep compressing because that's not normal. And I'll just never forget when she opened her eyes, it was so much relief. Like, okay, she's going to be okay. She's going to be okay.
Those moments of panic are what Hazel's mom, Jackie Nelson, knew all too well could be a possibility. But she never expected it to happen so soon.
And even with having a sick kid, I'm like, this ain't going to happen to me. This isn't ever going to happen to me. And I know CPR, but you're panicked. And I'm lucky that there was people there that seriously saved her life.
A Facebook post reconnected the 3 women, and on Sunday, Hazel reunited with her heroes.
It's so good to see you, not blue.
I know. None had planned on being at Walmart that day, but all say it was a meeting of more than chance.
We have one at home. Why did I go to that one? I don't know. We just ended up there.
Other nurses ask me, or say things like, it's a good thing you were there, and my response is always, somebody else would have done it too. Somebody else would have been there. But then I think, well, by the time I got over there, she wasn't breathing and nobody was doing anything.
I do feel like it was fate.
great story. When we come back, meeting Michelle Obama. A 2-year-old girl gets to meet the former First Lady after a photo goes viral. That story when we come back.
When you
Welcome back, everyone. Art came to life for one little girl when she met her idol, a 2-year-old in awe of the official portrait of Michelle Obama. That Michelle Obama got to have a dance party with the former First Lady. Chip Reed is in Washington, where he spoke with the young Parker Curry and her mother after they met Mrs. Obama.
The Queen.
It's a queen?
Yes.
And that's who?
Parker.
Parker Curry, a 2-year-old visitor to the National Portrait Gallery in Washington, became an internet sensation last week after a photo of her staring up at the former First Lady's portrait stole the hearts of thousands. She eventually caught Michelle Obama's attention, who invited her fan over for a visit.
You met Michelle, didn't you?
Yes.
What did you do with Michelle?
The dance.
An impromptu dance party to Parker's favorite song. The former First Lady shared the moment on social media, writing, "Parker, I'm so glad I had the chance to meet you today. Keep on dreaming big for yourself, and maybe one day I'll proudly look up at a portrait of you." Parker's mother, Jessica Curry.
She told Parker that she was beautiful, that she was smart, and that she was just so happy to meet her.
At last month's unveiling, Mrs. Obama said she hopes her portrait will inspire young women of color,
who in years ahead will come to this place and they will look up and they will see an image of someone who looks like them hanging on the wall of this great American institution.
Do you look forward to a day when you can show her the pictures and the videos of this?
Absolutely. I cannot wait, because right now she can't grasp it, but wait until she's like 10 or even 15 and she can totally look back and say, wow, I hung out with Michelle Obama.
So do you know what you want to do when you grow up? Would you rather be First Lady or President?
President.
President.
That's right. That's right.
Beautiful.
That's right, big girl.
It has been a whirlwind ride for Parker and her family ever since that first photo went viral. And while Parker's mother told me that she has been overwhelmed, she says Parker has been quite unbothered by all the fuss. Chip Reed, CBS News, outside the National Portrait Gallery in Washington.
And we will be right back to wrap things up. All right, be sure you stay connected with us on Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter. We enjoy hearing from you. We'll see you back here next time.